What's up, Future Gen? This is Dr. Stan coming at you with our theme of the month. It's March. We're going into spring. We're going to see this bloom, but we actually don't see this bloom go away anymore. I don't know if you noticed that over the last 3 years, maybe 2.5 years or so, right? Since we started to flood the world with this kind of schmike but all sorts of weird stuff. Why does this matter? Is our environment is ever toxic, and so we should be talking about, which is our theme of this month, detox and allergies, right? Immune dysregulation, like the fact that our nervous systems have to contend with an everly increasing toxic environment. And so that's one of our 4 T's, right? The 4 T's are the 4 stressors that we look at as chiropractors. Number 1, physical stressors. Number 2, chemical toxicities. Number 3, emotional thoughts. And number 4, technology, the 4 T's. But we're gonna cover that second one today because we're seeing essentially unending illnesses. We saw this over the last maybe 3.5, 4 years, where we started to see that kind of flu season and that allergy season basically blend together. And we started to see it, I would say arguably, in California more than anywhere else. And I would argue also that it has something to do with the ever increasing mandates that have been waged over our kids in public school and private school for basically since 2015. Why does this matter? Is from a environmental load and a toxic ecosystem perspective, you can't be healthy today without understanding and having some sort of taking account for that environment. I used to, in chiropractic school, I used to do a detox once a quarter. And people thought I was crazy, but after a year of school, people recognized that my health and my vibrancy was far surpassing virtually everybody else, especially our teachers, which weren't the beacon of health to begin with. But in the end, they didn't connect that our choices matter. One, because we weren't taught that fully in our curriculum. But number 2, we weren't taught that we had to lead by example to the degree that doctors today have to, right? If you watch many of those influencers that are out there today that have any sort of platform that sustains and that penetrates, they're freaking healthy. And so that's what this month is about, is understanding the litany of toxicity that exists from a chemical perspective. There's over 80,000 chemicals that flood our environment on a day-to-day basis that industry just kind of turns up the dial. They label them as generally regarded as safe. They do no safety studies and then essentially inject them into our kids' bodies, and we have no concept of how bad that is from an overall self-regulatory, self-healing, but also just health perspective. But the other side of the coin is who is actually taking account for that nervous system that is regulating the immune system and the endocrine system and your gut function that says, I can see, sense, and respond and adapt to the environment that's ever toxic more than ever. And so this month, we're going to talk about some key strategies that I believe are really important from a lifestyle perspective, from a supplement perspective, but also potentially just from a foundational chiropractic perspective, because we see people with allergies all the time. We see kids with eczema all the time. We see people with chronic stuff all the time where you feel like you have to put them in a bubble in order for them just to make it through the day. And we help them kind of realize that in the end, it's not the number of bubbles that you can put around someone or masks you can put in front of their face, but how you can get that internal resiliency and adaptability to be as optimal as possible, and all the while making sure you don't continually pollute things, right? So in the end, both are key factors. I would never shoot down functional medicine. I would never shoot down a naturopath. I would never shoot down an acupuncturist or someone that actually, helps with harmonizing EMFs and things like that. But what I would say is taking account for the environment is one half of the equation. The other half of the equation is what's your internal environment doing. And we're going to talk about both this month. I'm super excited. Welcome to March. We're in the spring, closing out Q1. And here at Future Generations, we couldn't be doing better. We love and appreciate your support over this entire time of our moving in. Love and appreciate you for our grand opening. And in the end, we're about to throw a major flag into the sand, and we'd love for you to join us. Love and appreciate you. Bye.